Good morning, fam. It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and today we are talking about traditional knives. This is not something that I've talked about a lot on the channel, so I'm really excited to share my views on traditional knives. Some that we have that we'll be testing next month, and just going over why they are still relevant in EDC for some people. I have a whole bunch of knives here. I think traditional knives, generally speaking, mean something along the lines of a GEC or a case or something. Some bucks. But with all of the models that we've had come through in the past, 25 years in the community, I think some of these on the table could be classified as modern traditionals. You know, like I do think that the Chris Reeves Small Sebenza 21, I think this is a modern traditional knife. Not what we're going to be talking about today, but I do think these are starting to become kind of the same thing. Same with the 940. I mean, this is 23 years old. It is kind of old school if you think about it. It's kind of a modern, traditional style. Even the mini grip. The mini grip is one of the oldest knives that we have from Benchmade. These are old. But they have a lot of those modern touches like the axis lock or the reeve integral lock or, you know, running on washers, etc., etc. So, not going to talk about these today, but I just did want to throw that out there a little bit, that technically I think we could classify some of these as modern traditionals at this point. So let's talk about some real traditional knives here. A lot of people view Swiss Army knives as traditional, so I did throw one of those in there. But generally speaking, when you think of grandpa knives, when you think of old school, this is kind of what you're thinking. GECs, case. Those are the two biggest ones. Sorry, I gotta sip my coffee real quick. And there are so many different models, so many different steels, but this is kind of what you think about. And GEC versus case is the continuous clash of the titans, if you will. Basically, GEC is what everyone wants and nobody can get. And case is what everyone can get and nobody wants, because the quality is such absolute garbage. Now, you guys know I love my American-made knives. I love them. But this is a perfect example of why people buy Chinese knives, because if you can't get this, and this is an embarrassment, sometimes you have to go overseas to get knives. So let's look at the fit and finish on this GEC, because I wish everyone could have a GEC knife. It's just, in my opinion, the most beautiful version of a traditional knife that you can get. They're so well made. The walk and talk is absolutely fantastic. They're just stunning. They're stunning pieces, and they're also functional. And they give you that old school essence of a traditional knife with the carbon steel. You get the patina. You get the ease of sharpening. You get everything that you want. But they're so hard to get, and when you buy them on the secondary from eBay, they're like, you know, $300. Which is just really too bad. So I'm very lucky to have this. I use this, obviously. I beat the crap out of it. I'm going to be testing it next month. It's a beautiful knife. I love using it. And I was trying to find something that I could recommend to people if they can't afford a secondary $300 bullnose off of eBay, right? So these came in. I have two Sodbuster Juniors. It's Case's version of the bullnose. This one was made first, I believe. But let's just look at why a lot of people can't stand Case. Their stuff is trash. It really is. So neither of these are used. These are brand new. This one's from DLT Trading. This one's from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. This is a collaboration that Case did with Smoky Mountain to do this like peach jig bone. Let's just look at this, okay? So upon arrival, we do have rust in the nail nick on a stainless steel. This is their True Sharp stainless steel. It's a high carbon stainless. So I mean, I don't think anybody actually knows what this is, but we're thinking it's 420 HC. So we have rust in the nail nick. We have some cool etching on this blade here. It says, you know, Sodbuster Jr. I actually really like that. It looks old school. I like the little farming scene that you have here. It's kind of like on the bullnose where we have... I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I have such a patina. Okay, there we go. So on the GEC here, it says bull nose, and then you have a bull in the middle, which is really cool. I actually like that etching. I don't typically like images and etching on my knives, but I think this old school stuff is pretty cool. So I do actually think this looks kind of neat with the old school Sodbuster Jr. etching on there. But the rest of the knife is trash, so it looks like it's used, right? Like, look at this handle. It's all dinged up, it's all scratched up. Literally just took this out of the package. Okay. Got a bunch of gunk in there in the blade area, a bunch of grease, debris, metal shavings, metal particles. The action is horrific. It's so gritty. My heater just turned on, so you probably can't hear it, but it's so gritty. It feels like there's sand in there. No idea what happened up here on this scale. I can't tell if it's cracked or if that's like a grinding error, but there's something wrong up there. Centering is completely off. Gaps. You know, this spring is riding up over. Way too proud. It's just trash, right? Like, this is just not something that should have passed quality control at all. Like, with the naked eye, you can literally see that this is a piece of garbage. Case knives come with an edge that you need to basically refine yourself. Like, they give you kind of a guideline of where to sharpen, but this edge, you know, has like the biggest burr ever. Like, you can literally see metal particles and shavings all over it because it's not even like a real edge. So they kind of give you like a guideline to follow, which this one isn't as bad. This is hollow ground, which is kind of cool. But, you know, just kind of like, this is kind of an embarrassment of, like, an American-made knife, right? This just shouldn't have passed quality control at all. I mean, look, the covers don't even fit correctly. You have, like, that's not lined up right there. The black cover, the Delrin cover, is proud of the brass liner on that side, and then it doesn't even line up with this side at all. Like, the whole thing is just, this is a piece of garbage, right? It sucks. So, just to try to find one that would maybe be, you know, higher quality to put into the testing. Sorry, I keep drinking my coffee. We snagged this one, right? So this is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive collaboration with Case on this peach jig bone, whatever. And I was hoping that because it was kind of a team up with Smoky Mountain, it would be better quality, like maybe they would have put more effort into these, and this one's actually worse than the black one. So the edge on this is just way worse. Like, it almost looks like it broke off at the tip. Especially on, I don't even know, like, what the heck happened to this poor thing. Whoever was grinding just was having a rough day. There's, like, no bevel at the tip here. Then it kind of evens out a little bit. But what the fuck is that? That is a monstrosity. What the fuck is that? These covers and liners don't even line up. So on this side, this cover is more slimline, but on the other side it's not, so when you look at the knife, it's not even. This one's way proud over this one. And then, you know, it kind of looks like it was made in a garage, like, you know, the pins are just not, they're not even, like, lined up. The whole thing just looks like it was made in someone's garage, which is, again, really sad because, American-made knives here, and Case is an old-school company. I've heard that there's like 180 steps in the process before these things leave the door, and they're almost always crap. Which is really too bad, right? I do think that this jig bone is gorgeous otherwise. I love the color. I love the pattern. This is actually in 1095, so basically Case does two types of steels. They do true sharp stainless steel, and then they do their chrome vanadium, right? And everyone seems to think that the true sharp is just 420 HC, and then people seem to think that the CV steel that they do is probably 1095. However, in this knife, they did not label it as CV steel. They actually specifically labeled it as 1095, which is down on that. There's a stamp right there on that blade tang. It's just covered, but that says 1095 down there. So, I don't know, if it were the CV, why not just put it as CV, unless they wanted to try to make it sound fancier than it was, and they just, instead of doing their CV stamp, they put 1095, and they're all the same fucking thing. Who knows? Either way, this is a carbon steel, a 1095. This is going to patina like crazy once I start using it, but that's really sad right up there. Let's check the centering. Centering is not too bad at all, so that's good. I don't know what happened to that blade there. Something wonky. And surprisingly, the spring isn't really looking too bad. Like, not really any gaps, so I'm super pumped about that. That's pretty even up there. Like, this all looks pretty decent, I will say that. I mean, your fingernail catches there, but, like, not the worst issue in the world, and kind of the rest flows. I like how slim it is. Yeah. So, you're probably wondering, why didn't you send these in for warranty? Why didn't you return them? Because I've never actually done that. I like testing the stuff that just comes in as it is to record, because I think it's important to record a situation that might happen to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ordered 2 different Case knives, the same model, from 2 different distributors, and they're both crap. So the odds of somebody having this same experience is pretty high, actually. So I would actually enjoy recording moving forward with getting these, because it's very likely that someone else could experience the same turmoil. Not only that, but this one was only 29 bucks, so I'm really not, like, it's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing to them, but I'm not, like, pissed that it's a piece of garbage. It was 29 bucks. This one was 67. Not very happy about that at all. And, like, the pin, one of the pins looks like it was chewed by a rat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even line up correctly. I don't know. This is kind of like a turd, too, especially with how the edge was put on. I'll put my own edge on it, obviously, but, you know, this one isn't really, in my opinion, passable, especially with that. But I want to test it as it is, because it's already here. I'm gonna put my own edge on it, and, like, I don't think that the cosmetic stuff is going to actually affect the performance, so I want to just run it as it is once I put my own edge on it. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to, like, try Case versus GEC, because we all know that GEC is the way better quality one, but I want to see if, like, even though the Case knives cosmetically look like a dumpster fire, they still perform. Like, I want to see how that works. I also want to see the difference between their True Sharp and their CV or 1095. I really am curious as to if this is different than their CV, because, again, like, why didn't they just put it as CV? So I do want to try to find a sodbuster that is, like, specifically in CV steel and put it in this lineup, but I'm super picky, and generally speaking, the yellow Delrin scale ones, or the yellow Delrin cover ones, are in CV, and I just hate that yellow. I think it's ugly, so, like, I don't want to pick up a yellow one. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled for something that looks a little aesthetically more pleasing that's in CV steel. If I can get something like this that actually just, like, looks better and I enjoy it more, and it's in CV, that's what I'm kind of keeping my eyes peeled for. But next month we're going to run these with some fixed blades. We're going to do a little bit of a traditional style carry and testing. Although these look like crap, I still want to see how they actually perform, how this one patinas, if this one will continue to rust. This has, you know, a totally different finish and grind. Like, this is literally a hollow grind, which is so weird to me. This one is, actually, this might be hollow too. But the finishes are totally different. This is kind of like a satin finish. This one's just like a belt finish. Yeah, so I don't know, I just kind of wanted to show that to you guys, show you why these are so obsessively sought after, and why they're more expensive, because just the attention to detail that goes into these is above and beyond what you're ever going to get from Case. It's just how it is. These are just, like, typically trash, right? But we're going to see how they work, and, yeah, I'm excited to see how these traditional knives flow into my EDC, because we're so used to things like this. And although these have their place, obviously, I just think it's cool to go old school sometimes. And I've always really liked traditional knives. I love patina. I love how slicey these are. I think they're great to carry for cutting up your lunch at work, and they're just a little more, like, friendly looking, I guess, you know? Like, if you pull out a Swiss Army knife or a sodbuster, people aren't going to think you're as weird as pulling out something like that. So that does matter to some people. It doesn't matter to me. New Hampshire's live free or die, and we literally have no laws on knives or anything, which is great, but I know some places do. Also, this slip here, just a heads up, fits the sodbusters and the bullnose. People have been really curious about that. I keep saying what this is, but people miss the video and then they keep asking. So this is the Hitch and Timber Cadet Slip in the Farmer size. So it's called a Cadet Slip, and they have 3 sizes. They have the Cadet, the Pioneer, and the Farmer, I believe, and this is the biggest size. This is the Farmer size. So I ordered this, and it fits my GEC bullnose perfectly. So if you want to protect your traditional knife, you can grab one of these, and oh, look at how nice that looks, guys. Look at that. My friend Nikki put this lanyard on for me, and it matches the knife, so the whole thing I just think looks very good. But yeah, you can buy these little slips for like 20-something bucks off of Hitch and Timber. They fit your traditional knives. I haven't checked to see if my sodbuster fits in there, but I feel like it would. Yep, perfect. Even that looks nice. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's a nice little traditional set. Gives you enough room to pull the knife out. It's definitely not going to fall out. But yeah, there's some, you know, kind of like first impressions of a couple of Case knives that came in quality is not there, but we'll see how performance does. GEC is just always pulling through and winning. You can sign up for email notifications for when these knives get to their registered dealers if you don't want to look on eBay, but those drops are few and far between, just a heads up. So yeah, that's kind of it, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Go use your shit. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon. Peace out, Girl Scout.